Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of creating a graph about the declining views and ratings of The Simpsons. So far, we made this graph, and the code for it is fairly straightforward. Check out the last video if you want more detail on it. And with all of that one done, we can do the styling now, and I will walk through these steps to style every single element. Right now, we are using the default colors only, but that isn't all that bad, because the default blue of Matplotlib is quite close to the Simpsons blue already. But we do need to get rid of all the white parts and replace them with yellow. To get that one done, we need to target two kinds of objects. First, we need to change the color of the figures itself, but then we also have to update the colors of the axes. By default, both of these have a white background color, and if you only change one, it will look a little bit weird. But at least both can be changed with the same command, which is set_facecolor. We can apply this one straight away to the axis. Let's do that one first. After adding all the data, I will dedicate some lines specifically to the styling. And to turn the axis yellow, I just need to call them and insert set_facecolor and insert the color I want. In this case, just yellow. There are lots of different ways to use colors in Matplotlib, and I am using one of the simpler ones, which is called a named color. And you can find a list of all the available colors in the documentation. So I just apply this to both of the axes and run the code. And we get some yellow, but still lots of white around them because the figure is still white. We'll cover that one in a second. Before that though, I will make a little bit of an update. Since I will add more styling, it is going to become really tedious to always apply it to both axes manually. So instead, I will create a loop with 4 axes in the list x_views and x_ratings. And into that, I pass an axis.setFaceColor, so that we only need to write each command once. We'll be using that loop quite a bit more in just a bit. But first, let's change the color of the figure itself. And for that, we couldn't just apply set_facecolor to the figure itself. You see, the figure is more of a container with lots of elements in it, and the background color is just one of them. The element that actually carries the background is called a patch. So to change the color of the figure, I need to add fig.patch.setFaceColor. And I will do that in the general setup, but you could do it in the styling part further down. Both would work just the same. And running the code now gets us a completely yellow graph. Next up, let's turn the ticks and the lines around the graph blue, and also make the lines a bit thicker. The ticks and the text at the ticks can be changed easily. That one is done with tick_params, which accepts a number of arguments. You can find all of them in the documentation. But to change the lines around the graph requires another function, which is called spines. The reason for that is that the ticks are only the little lines and the text. They are not the long lines around the graph. Those are called spines. And targeting the spines is a bit tedious. You first need the axis and then the command spines. And into that you specify which spine you want to change. And only then you can apply specific styles. Especially for this one, loops are important to keep things efficient. So let's implement all of that now. Both the ticks and the spines are styled in the loop. I call axis.tick_params and insert colors equals the string tab blue. Then I insert label size equals 12 and width equals 2. To go through this, colors sets the color of the tick itself and the text next to it. And tab blue is the default blue of Matplotlib. Do be careful with this one though, because there's also a color parameter. That one only changes the text, but not the text itself. The label size changes the size of the text, and width changes the thickness of the text. And running the code now, I have some more appropriately styled graphs. And with that one done, we can do the spines. To get this one done, I will add a loop inside of the loop. So it's going to be for a side in the list bottom, top, left, and right. These are the respective sides of the spine. And in that inner loop, I use axes from the outer loop, then spines, and then the side. Now I just need to add set_color, which is tab blue, and again I add set_line_width and pass in a 2. And just to illustrate how much typing the loops have saved, here's the equivalent code without them, and it's really quite a bit. But if I run the code now, it starts to look much better. We are almost done. Before I finish the text, I will update the line plot a little bit, because it's too thin and too edgy right now. But that can be changed quite easily. I just need to go to the line where I created the plot and insert some styling arguments after the data. You can find all of the available ones in the documentation. I will set the line width to 4 and solid cap style to round. Line width is pretty obvious, it's the width of the line. But the cap style tells Python to round the ends of the line. It is quite a subtle effect, but you can see it if you look for it, and it does make a difference. The one thing left now is to style the text and the text boxes, and then we're done. To style text in Matplotlib, we need what is called a font dictionary, or font dict in short. It actually works quite a bit like bbbox. You add an argument and assign it a dictionary with the styling options. Since I will reuse the styling a fair bit, I will create a dictionary by itself first, and then apply it to the text. And the parameters I will use are color, the font family, and the font weight. So back in the code, I create a dictionary that I will name font_style and assign it a dictionary. The key value pairs will be color and tab blue, family fantasy, and weight semi-bold. And that dictionary I just need to apply to each piece of text. So it's font dict equals font_style. And the only text that doesn't get this is the zombie Simpsons text, because it will get a slightly different styling. And you can actually set some attributes of the text independently when creating it. So the size can be affected both in the font dictionary and as a parameter. I will actually do that for the text in the bar chart. So both get size equals 16. And when I run the code now, we can see that things are getting much better already. The one thing left is to change the text for the zombie Simpsons. And I will add a dictionary straight into the argument. So I need to add information straight after the data. And for that one, I will create a dictionary right after creating the text itself. But I will be a little bit lazy and just copy the dictionary from the font style. And I will only change the color to yellow. The rest stays the same. Now to the boxes around the text. And we already created the parameters and the dictionaries itself in the last tutorial. And into those, we just need to pass in 2 key value pairs. Those are going to be face color and edge color, or FC and EC in short. You can use both versions as argument, both are fine. I could change the shape of the box with box style, but I won't since I'm happy with the default style, which is a plain rectangle. So for the golden era text, I will add yellow for the face color and tab blue for the edge color. And for the zombie Simpsons, I will switch around these 2 colors. And if I run the code now, we have created a fully styled graph in Matplotlib. And one last thing, if you want to save this figure as a picture, you need to replace plt.show with plt.savefig and insert the name of the output file. By default, you get a PNG file, but this one will have a white background. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but you can fix it by just specifying the face color to yellow. And then you get the proper picture of the graph. And with that, we're done. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you want to learn more about styling in Matplotlib, I would recommend to check the documentation itself, which gives you a lot of examples and information. Or let me know in the comments if you have a question.